Another live episode of Team Unity Round Table program aired for the first time on a Sunday at 3 o'clock. One where the members, affiliates, friends of Progress and Unity come together to disseminate information in the interest of all. So yes, we are a political organization registered as a party in Dominica with interest in becoming part of the governing apparatus of our country, which means that we will contest general elections and local elections if we have to on the island of Dominica, with the hope to become in the majority party or to play a part in the affairs, policy making of our people. So we are a party as far as that is concerned. But even beyond that, we are a movement which seeks to bring minds together progressively. So we are not an opposition movement per se. We are a progressive, inclusive, united movement where we ask Dominicans to surrender their affiliations if they have to in the interest of the growth and progress of our country. And now, more than ever before in the history of our country, we need that. We need it in particular because there has been a stalemate in the governance of our nation where two major parties have run the affairs of the state. And yes, the minority party and the majority party are in government. So a party which tells you we have not been in government since is kind of a misleading you, because even if you are the minority party in the parliament, you are also in government. And you can impact the decision making of the government. It just matters how you strategize so to do and how effective you are at doing it. In particular, and especially if you are the minority party or if you are in the opposition. And we have seen it in governments around the world where parties who are in the minority have impacted policies and otherwise. So that's what we are. That's what we're about. We invite you to be part of our discussions today and to share, like asking questions. Any question you ask will be answered. We don't shy away from the difficult questions. We know we are embarking on something good because it's united and it's progressive. And there might be some who might still question our quest to unite. And I say, alas, why would anyone question the call and the cause of unity and progress? We would if we are interested in keeping things in our sectorial partisan ways. Team Unity is not about holding true to our party and partisan ideals. It's about representing the good of our country. And that's it in a nutshell. I was asked to be the first to speak because I have declared publicly that I am leading the charge of unity for now. And we'll see how that goes. There have been many people who have showed interest in our movement and who have been joining the cause. And you will hear voices and see faces. I can tell you that in due course. We're going to be starting a series of town halls and you will see and hear faces. It's going to unfold based on our time and on our own strategic deliberations. So guys, good things are in store for us. We have ushered in a new day in terms of the idea of campaign we should be having in a country with vast resources, but with very, very myopic ideas to manage that vast resource or those vast resources. That's my introduction to the program. We're going to be having a number of people join us today. I'm not too sure who is the producer will let me know in a while. But on our discussion today, we're going to look at, before I introduce the first other face on the program, we're going to be looking at four major items. We're going to talk about Team Unity's plan for leadership and the readiness of our movement to take on the mantle of leadership and the management of Dominica's affairs, like tomorrow if we have to. We are ready. We're going to speak about that. We're also going to be speaking about a new voice, a new approach in the politics driven by a strong visionary leadership, not leader, leadership. People normally ask, who is your leader? Oh, the leader is the vision. and the vision is managed by people. Yes, there'll be somebody to spearhead it, but that person will be declared in time. So we're going to talk about that as well. And the idea of bringing people together. That's one of our hallmarks. We will be taking questions, hopefully, from among the people, because we normally have friends of the movement who we bring on here to ask questions of us. So we should be having questions. And we will also, before we leave, today speak about our $1 million student, the $1 million child. We'll give some updates as to where we are. I'm excited, very, very excited about this, because that is really something that I negotiated for in my village of Calibishi. And my team was gracious enough to allow it to happen, to make me look good and feel good in some way. But sometimes in politics, you win some, you lose some. And the team was willing to let us do the $1 million event in Calibishi. And I'm eternally grateful to the team. Guys, I owe you one. But that was big. It is huge. It continues to be a big talking point. And today, we have an update on that. Our producer is Carlos Charles. I'm not going to tell you where he's producing the program from, or if he's going to show us his face. I will let him decide that. But I think he should have a few guests for us, one or two, Carlos. So let us see who we have, and let's get the show going. If I'm the only one, I'm ready to go. Just give me the heads up. I see my handsome brother and friend, Erwin Emmanuel. He's here with me. He's the first guest to present. So, partner, what's going on now?
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. It's nice to be back. I've been absent for about 3 programs.
Yeah.
Family, business, and then funny. It's funny. I people hide those things, but I feel I need to say it here. Last week, my entire family was hit by COVID. I don't go anywhere, and it came home to meet us. So at the end of the day, I feel right now that I should have a little to say about that, because we are in the festive season. The country is moving, and nobody wants the country to close, because we need to keep things going. People need to make money. Businesses need to recoup for all that they have lost. So I think that it's really on us to learn to or to be mindful and understand and learn that COVID is still around us. We still have to be careful. We still have to follow the protocols. We still have to protect ourselves and families. And while we're still trying to continue with our livelihood. So I believe I had to say that. I mean, my entire family was hit. We were in from last Friday. Thank God that we all are okay. We out of it right now. We are back to normal. COVID is costly, I must say that. The little ones got it real hard, and it's something that can change your perspective on things. So guys, be careful while you're out there partying and living your lives. If you're not vaccinated, please get vaccinated, because I saw the difference in the people at my home who were vaccinated and who was not vaccinated. Trust me. So with that said, it feels good to be back. And right now we are here to discuss the forward movement for Dominica. Last week somebody told me that it's funny, Erwin, I've never heard you speak about anything. You have never been into political affairs. You're not that kind of person, but literally you are speaking. And there comes a time in someone's life when you see things going wrong, and it's been going wrong for too long that you have to say something. And that's how I end up being in this movement. I think it's a very good forward thinking movement. I think everybody should join us. Everybody should feel free to say what's on their mind and have a voice, because everything affects every one of us.
Mhm.
From your home to my home to everybody feels the squeeze when things get hard or bad. So, I mean, people are talking. I've seen comments. I've seen grown people that know better make comments about our little movement already. And it shows how people can be so malicious and so, because just for speaking out, you become the enemy of the state. You become somebody that is like you should not speak. So when you change that kind of a thinking and that divide, to people. I'm not a big speaker. I'm a private person, but I think it is the time that I speak. So it feels good to be back, right? So let's continue our movement, guys. Let's speak. Let's bring people on, and let's go with it. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah, man. Well, let me first of all reach out to you and your family. I saw you going through this thing. I actually saw you on camera. I mean, I saw the little ones like flat down. I mean, I saw you actually allowed me the access to the privacy of your home because we're a family that way. So I empathize with you. I'm happy that everybody's out of the woods now. I took the points that you made about COVID being here and it's still a serious threat and it's expensive and it could delay production. And no, we should not close the country down, but we must be responsible. While I was on Ireland, I saw and witnessed a big fete and a few fetes. And I think around now the numbers of COVID cases should be increasing because of what we saw now. I'm not knocking anybody, but that's how COVID is spread. I know we have a big fete coming in October. We have Carnival coming in February. So we have to be mindful. Kind of keep your distance, wear your mask. As Erwin said, the vaccine has been proven to assist in mitigating against the effects of COVID. So if you feel if you should and get vaccinated, do that. And let's try to be each other's keeper. Because yes, when I've seen people with the COVID, but when I saw you and your family, it really bothered me. And as a man, you stood up resolute and you represented. And I again, in my scheme of things, you went taller in my mind, in my head, because you really brought the family together. And I respect that, And I want to echo the same call that you put to ask people to be careful and be responsible. And we're never going to call or talk about closing a country down again. It's just too much to close a country down. But COVID can close us down if we're not careful. And not as a country, but as individuals. So we can even take our lives as well. So let's take that COVID threat serious. We're not out of it as yet. So I wanted to make that point. The other point you made is about people embracing the idea and some people still, castigated. And let me tell you, my brother, you're not a public person, and I know that. But on a couple of occasions, you said to me publicly, Alex, anything you're in, I am in. Because of my respect, of the respect you have for me and the love that you have for me. I have the same respect and love for you. So it's mutual. So you told me that twice, and then look, you are here with me on a public platform doing politics. This is politics, Some people think politics is a crazy thing where you go and curse people and lambaste people. No, politics is being able to speak about things that they think is affecting the people. So this is politics. I never expected you to be doing that. Like maybe me, not you. But I appreciate it because at least your mind is more mature and you grow and you understand that this is not something dangerous. If people want to target you or your family because of speaking out, that would be a crazy, foolish thing. Because that is what people should do, speak out on things that matters most. So if somebody wants to tackle me instead. If somebody wants to take bread from Erwin, take it from me instead. Because Erwin is here because he believes in the cause that I believe in. So please leave Erwin alone. Erwin knows what he's doing. He's an independent man. He thinks for himself. And he's helping to advance the message. That's two. And then also you spoke about those who are favoring the idea. I was in Orlando last night, as I said. Had a long night. And I met some wonderful people. Most of them people who support the government or support the majority party. And a young lady came up. She hugged me so tight, Erwin. Tight. She said, Alex, I love you. I love what you're doing. Alex, I have not voted anybody else but Labour. And I might still vote them again. But Alex, what you're doing, oh God, Dominic and needs that. The fight and the anger, Alex, I'm not seeing that in you. And if that's the future, if that's what you bring in, Alex, you will get support. And she shivered. She showed me her skin, shivering. She said she just wanted an option. She's not promising that she would vote for us, but she said it is just so refreshing. And I'm telling you, Alex, you will get support. So that conversations like that make me feel comfortable. That even there are some, the naysayers who believe, oh, well, we can shoot down Alex, we can shoot down Erwin, we can threaten Carlos, we can do this. They are the minority. And they are not people who can influence people, Erwin. Just think about them. Think about them. If they could have influenced people, they would have been winning elections for the past 20 years. But it's the same voices who come at you telling you things, who have not been able to get through with their ideas. So I think we are a fresh start. We are onto something good. You're not a youth, neither am I. But look at you for the first time doing this. That doesn't. You are youth now. You are young, and all those people who are joining us with this campaign, we are in this to create a difference. So I wanted to make sure we put that on the record to tell Dominicans that we're not going to relent in our message. We are ready. We are ready to lead in a different direction from day one, and we will never castigate any politician, anyone whatsoever. And I'm saying that publicly, and any one of our team who does that, if I am alive and around, I will pull them up. Probably grab the mic from them and say, that's not how we do politics, I'm sorry. Or apologize for whoever does that on our platform. Never shall we play personal politics, ever, against anybody. We will not call people thief, voler. Your personal life is not our business. Our business is to promote the good of our people and our country, and to lead Dominica into the new dispensation. COVID has come and changed the world. How many politicians have understood that, accepted that as the way, a new way? We are accepting it, and we are ready to lead Dominica in the new direction. So that is what I come back with from your introduction. I hope I didn't take too much time.
I saw we have a new member or supporter, Crystal Chatter. Carlos, do the introduction.
Yes, first of all, good evening, good afternoon to you guys, and good afternoon to our viewers, both here and abroad. I'm talking to you guys from the beautiful sister isle of St. Lucia.
Oh, you in St. Lucia?
Fortunately and unfortunately, unfortunate circumstances brought me here. Again, all these are things that we need to focus on in terms of fixing our country. The healthcare system in our country is the reason why I'm here.
Really?
Yes. I putting it bluntly, my dad would have died if we didn't take the bull by the horns and get things going.
You mean the original Lambie?
Yes. Yes. But
well, I know, but I'm questioning you so that you would probe a bit and tell us. I mean, you don't have to tell us everything about Brother Lambie, but what can you tell us now
what I will say right now is that he is stable, and right now he has to do surgery. So it's just to get everything in order so that can be done.
And if you had not traveled to St. Lucia, he might not have been with us today.
No.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Healthcare
is an important matter, and it spells the importance of fixing the country from the top down.
Amen. Amen. But Carlos, I suspect you're a little frozen. Before you come back on, I wanted to say though thanks, because I, as I've said before, have assumed leadership of this unity. Do not know what happens. Probably I could be the John the Baptist paving the way for somebody to come. Probably it might be me. But I'm leading it for now, and I wanted to go on record to thank you for the sacrifice that you made. You in St. Lucia are caring for your dad, and you can find the time to be live with us and to produce the program from St. Lucia.
Yes.
So this thing about Dominicans living different paths.
Again, it brings back to the topic that you were speaking about, the COVID thing, where the world has changed, the world has evolved, and we need to embrace the new ways of working. I mean, I'll compliment the government for the different work in nature initiatives and so on, encouraging persons to come to Dominica to work, provide them with the facilities that they need to work from Dominica and access their remote work location. But with us, we have one of our new members. The name is Crystal Chatter, and unfortunately, she's not camera appropriate, so guys will not be able to see her today, but she's here ready to engage with us and be part of the movement in a positive way. Crystal, are you on?
Yes, I am here. Well, everybody that's here know me in one way or another. I worked with Owen before. Mr. Bruno used to be my neighbor in Jimit.
Yep.
So I am pretty much aware. I saw Carlos. I was kind of interested by when I saw Carlos posted a few days ago, and I would say my main interest in being with you guys is just I personally believe that after 20 years, it's time for a change. Now, my question to the group, I'm not sure who can answer it, but these are questions that I think that we should ask ourselves. One, what is the mission of this group? And then two, where do we see ourselves or how do we see ourselves going? I would say the next 6 months. What are our plans? Now that would help somebody like me decide whether or not or where if I can get a few of my friends because that's one of the main things that we do not have as young people. We do not have a sense of direction. So I think a lot of the young people are settling for what they know and they are afraid of change. I personally like change as long as it is working change. And as I said to Carlos before, I like to be part of something that is working. Even if we might not have the full support as other people, but we can see we have a vision and we want to do something different and we have a plan. That is the most important thing, the plan. So I didn't get a chance to speak to Carlos further, so I'm not sure who can give me a little insight on that.
Okay. So what in particular? Just tell me exactly what you want to hear, and I'm going to tell you exactly.
Okay, I want to know, like, okay, for example, this is new to me. Carlos gave me a breakdown, but not, I guess, none of the details. I was just intrigued by the idea that something new, a new party, a new strange. I like to say, when Carlos first said it to me, I said a bunch of plastic bags, a bunch of clear plastic bags. All of us have a default. That's the first thing I said to him. I have a default, a big default. Everybody have a default. Now that is the set of people that we know can make a change. The people with a default, not those that pretending to be like all good and whatever. So I just want to know, like, what is the motive of the group? What do we see ourselves doing? I like to put a time frame on things because that is the way that we can monitor our progress. So in the next 6 months, where do we see ourselves, or where do you see this group being in the next 6 months?
Okay, so I prefer the ourselves part of it because you're part of it already. All right, so from the foundation, this movement is built on faith, love, and unity. In fact, that is the international slogan of Team Unity. Faith, love, and unity. Everybody on earth will agree with that phrase. So that's our international slogan. In terms of the ideology, Team Unity Dominica believes in a sense of pragmatic realism. To be pragmatic is to be real. The world is what it is today. So that is what we are. We do not look back and say, oh, we should be that way, or in the past it was done that way. We are dealing with things in time, so it's the party that is really meshing with young people and people who are not too young as well. But we are real and we are pragmatic, and we believe that although we are deemed an opposition movement, we are not. We are a progressive movement where we oppose by engaging, giving credit where credit is due, and saying what we can do together. At the moment, we are not a traditional party. So we think we are a party or a movement of urgent necessity. And what that means is we need something. Dominica's asking for something to address the problems that is taking place in the governance of our country. And we have red and blue fighting and nobody is doing what the people want them to do. So we say, you know what, guys, there's an opportunity. Let's come together as an urgent group for now to fix the problem. Later on, we can talk about our party and wherever, but for now, let's call ourselves a united movement. Let's get into government, change policies that will help change the lives of Dominicans. So that is how we came to be. And I explained to you the urgent necessity. In 6 months' time, Crystal, I think we can be in government, because I think election can be within 6 months, because it doesn't take, the Prime Minister can call elections next week, next month, the month after, and we have 30 days to get into the campaign and to. So I think we can be in government. If we get into government within the next 6 months, our mission would be first to deal with reforming the economy of our country. Enough people are not involved in the economy, working, making money, spending money. Too many of us still depend on people to give us money. When people give you money in an economy, the economy is weak. An economy that is strong is an economy where people work. It could be a $10 you make, but you work. That goes back into productive use. When people give money to a lot of people, that money is dead money in an economy. So you may find a lot of money circulating in Dominica, but the economy is taking a hit. Case in point, Crystal, is the government gives a lot of housing free, which is okay. But the banks and the other financial centers and sectors are suffering because people are not on-lending money or borrowing money from the bank, no interest. That's how the banks make money. So quietly, people are taking their blows while the government, while the major party continues to be the major player. You see now they're building all sorts of stuff and all sorts, which is okay. The problem is, why do we have to do it for so many Dominicans? We're not crying down the Dominicans. We are saying it is a good thing that they get in housing, but under our government, we would keep the housing, keep the arrangement in place, but we will also dialogue with the members and say, guys, okay, you're in a house, government give you a house, it's, government money, we're happy that you're in the house, and we don't want to continue just giving you everything that you need. Let's find a way to get you into a job. And there is no healthy Dominican who would say, I don't want to work now, I want you to give me money every day. No, they're not going to do that. They'll say, well, thank you. I'm an architect, I'm a this, I'm a that. So we will create the environment, they make money, and if you're making $10, you will pay $5 for your, or 6 or 5 cents on your house. But we think when you get something that you earn, it is better than just to get it just because somebody give it to you. So those people who will get government housing will keep the government housing, but we'll put another program in place to maintain the houses for them. Because when it comes for maintenance of those homes people getting for free there, how are they going to maintain it, Crystal? So we are going to give a program in place for the maintenance of all the good things that our government has done. So we're not crying on the program. We're saying it's good, but within 6 months, when we get into office, we'll put other things in place for the maintenance of the housing. And if you can afford, you put a penny halfpenny. If you cannot afford, we will try to get another way to get it done. But just to give your house and give your key and say, you're good, it should not stop. It should be the beginning. So we will build on whatever was created for the people. In a nutshell, that is our approach, and that's what we intend to do within now and the next year.
Okay, and just to strengthen what Alec was saying, Crystal, when I became part of this movement, and I like to call it a movement, because we tend to start calling things party and political party, and we tend to always bring that divide in people's mind, because at the end of the day, as a Dominican, you're not blue, red, green, purple, or whatever color you want to call it. We are Dominicans first. So I consider this community a movement. I always tell Alec that. So to strengthen what he say, I think that our next 6 months plan is to change the ideology of how politics is run in Dominica. We come in here as a movement to show people that politics can be different, and people can be in politics and have no fear. People can be in politics, have a voice, have a say, talk about something that affects you and your family at home, and you should not be ashamed or be punished for doing that. So we need to change that divide. We need to change the mindset of our people. We need to change the mindset of our people. Now, when we do that, we'll see our way. Coming back to the how we do sector of Dominica, it is Government has to provide housing. Any government have to provide housing to its people. There are people who need housing, but everybody don't need free housing, right? I always telling people I look at that housing initiative that going around could have been a very sustainable part of our economy because there are people who need houses. There's the old lady down the road that have nobody to help, but she need a house, and government should take care of her needs. But government should not be giving a 21-year-old just out of college, having just started to work a brand new house, and that person haven't worked for their life, haven't achieved anything. So I always believe that 80% of these housing initiatives going around could have been sold back to people, give them their titles and their certificates and whatever, their documentation, and they pay whatever little they can afford. They could be considered low housing initiative or however you want to call it. People could pay free for low income housing. People could pay free for $100 on their houses and be very proud of doing it, knowing that they have a little nice three-bedroom house provided by the government of Dominica. They pay their $300 monthly. They have their documents saying that it's theirs when they finish paying for 10, 15, 20 years. So we need to, and now with that, the government now could be making money back on these houses, right? That's why it becomes sustainable. The government now is getting monies from 80% of these housing stock and can now be able to build more houses for more people.
Yes.
So that is my ideology of that housing sector. So we now need to change the mindset of Dominicans that freeness is not always good. Because yes, you have a free house, but you have nothing to show that it's your house. Don't forget that. You live in that house for 20 years. You make 3 children in that house. They might be in it after you're gone, or they might put them outside because that house is not yours and it will never be yours. You cannot take anything to the bank and say, yes, I have this piece of asset and I can borrow 10,000 or 15,000 against it. So you now living in a house for the next 20 years, haven't achieved anything, any assets, you haven't acquired anything. So you now practically building a generation of poverty. Your children, because you haven't acquired anything. So we really need to change the mindset of Dominicans or set as young people. And we need to do that by not castigating, degrading people, calling, like Alex said, nobody volley, nobody you red, you blue or green. We can do it, and it starts with us as people. We can talk, me and you can be red, you can be green, you can be blue, and we can sit down and have a discussion. And we can talk about things that can move the country forward and move us forward rather than worshipping a color or a person or something. This is what this party or this movement is about. And if we do it right, like Alex said, in 6 months, we can change the entire dynamic around Dominica. I believe it. That's why I end up being part of it and I can talk. I feel like I have a voice, I can talk because I see the way my friends are living. And my friends are trying, but they ain't getting anywhere. It's been a rough 20 years. We need to change that. Always remember, the power is in the hands of the people. Always remember that people have the power, not who we put up there. We need to start talking around that.
All right. So, what is a Crystal? I mean, I can follow up with what Erwin said, but I guess you could jump back in, and I'm not too sure whether I know we don't have a picture, but I guess we'll hear her voice. But just before Crystal comes back on, right, Erwin, you mentioned about the title for the properties, which probably, let's say the government now might say, okay, here's your title, property is yours. Well, if they say that, that's good. But at the end of the day, remember the people are still dependent on you. Our job is to say, look, now that you have a title, now that you got a house, we want to put things in place so that you can go to a bank, present that title, get money. Because just putting a title in the bank is not giving you money, The bank is going to ask you, well, what have you earned? Where have you worked? How are you going to pay back the money that you're going to get to expand the house or to buy a vehicle or to, do something else? So our approach is to help you to feed yourself. by working with you, not just giving you and say it is free. Anyhow, somebody, a party, a government give you something and say it's free, you are paying more than the person who paid for the stuff that they got. So that is the great difference between us and them. We have a plan to fix the problem. We are going to fix the problem. So no one who has a house from government right now should feel threatened by us. In fact, we're going to make things better for you. You have a house, we'll give you the fridge, the furnishing, the food. Not give, we together with you will create the opportunity for you to be able to take care of your house and to repair your house as well.
In other words, what you're saying, Alex, we need to move our people from the state of dependency to independence.
Indeed. That's it. And I mean, can somebody argue with us? Can somebody argue with that? I don't think they can, or they should. Okay, so Crystal, do you have a comeback? Do you have another question?
Okay, well, yes, I see. Well, most of my expectations by just having that simple little conversation with you guys have been met. It lets me know that you guys are serious in what you are doing. And as I said before, I like to be part of things that are working. So since you guys have a plan and your plan seems to be, how they say it, according with what we need as young people, or what we are looking for in terms of the next option for, I guess, our future and the future of our family.
Good, and that's where we are. And there are direct initiatives for younger people like you as well, first-time homeowners. We're not going. Our approach is not to build a house and give it to you, as is the case now. Our approach is to work with you. So if you're from, let's say, Penville, Jimmy, wherever you're from, you have land, or will assist with placing you on land, government land, whatever the case is. You come up with a design that you would like to call your home. You have an engineer friend you might have gone to school with. They'll design your home with you. You have your hand into your home design. You create a house that is aesthetically pleasing for the area that you live in. You put your own color for your paints, you paint, let's say you have a daughter, your children room, however you want. So you have a say in your house, in your home, as opposed to a government building an apartment and say, look it, and you have a wall separating you and the next family. Now that is okay as well, but we believe in the sort of self-contained, wholesome unit, family-friendly accommodation in the community that you are from. So we will not move you from Granby and put you into Cotton Hill. We'll keep you Granby by the Irving and have you work with you to design a structure that you want to live in for the rest of your life. So our approach is more community-oriented, not just block clustered building. We help to build and to kind of build Dominica based on the terms of our country, not on a new vision. If you look at most of the designs of the new houses, I mean, you see that in Miami, you see it, elsewhere. Dominica is okay, we can advance, but I think it is too dramatic a move from our sort of tropical, self-contained family units to those apartment edifice that in the end of the day, 20, 30 years from now, Crystal, I guarantee you, we're going to have maintenance problems for those units because there's nothing in place for that at this moment to maintain those units because there's no money. Government doesn't have a limitless bucket of money. Look at Venezuela with so much oil money, they cannot do it. So how are we going to do it? How are we going to maintain all those houses we're giving for free? And all those families we put in houses, we can't do that. So our team would say thanks to the government that's presently in office, which includes the opposition, and we're going to put things in place to fix the problem that might surface in the future with those houses. So that's what we'll say. Owen, I think the producer put up a question there. The question is, well, a comment. Property ownership is great. Vehicle is a great vehicle for building wealth. Example, collateral for loans to build a house, repair current properties, student loan, and to educate the kids, etc. Again, great initiative. But if a few tweaks, it can be phenomenal. Well, thank you, contributor. That is what we're looking for. Guide us, tell us what you think you could do to make things better, and we will work with you. Because no one set of people have the monopoly on idea and knowledge. Another comment, Owen, need to maintain the architectural heritage of our country. We have powerful history of great architectural styles, authenticity, and identity. I mean, that person put those in better terms than I did, Owen.
Yeah. No, we need to build. And like you said, build things aesthetically pleasing to the area and the places that we are doing it. And one of the things you've always been speaking about in our meetings and forums is that while the apartment style housing is necessary and is good for certain persons and a certain period, it brings that whole I have to be very careful how I say it. You keep saying it very well. The whole issue we've been having surrounding child molestation and all those things happening around. These kind of complexities breed that kind of a level of things. But if you have people living in their own community, their own pieces of and parcels of land, you have a better upbringing of the family. So all these things comes back to the same comment posed by the follower, the aesthetic of the country or an architectural and the heritage of the country. You don't just change all that and put people, because I was watching a documentary on Cuba on Venezuela, and this same apartment style housing that was done several years ago are now slums. We have to be very careful with that.
Yeah.
We have to be careful with that.
Well, again, we do not speak in our politics about problems and create mayhem and sound alarms. But it is a case where if you understand how projects were created in America, and you go to the history of the creation of the ghettos, well, not to say we are doing that, but we must be very careful with the projects that we are doing in Dominica that we call housing revolution. In fact, how can you have a revolution for housing? Revolution does not connote something progressive and positive. A revolution is a radical change of how housing was to all. You cannot do that. You have to work with what the aesthetics of housing has been in your country. You can probably have a solution, which is what we have. So to change from what we are to what we are going into now, we can create problems for us down the line that you are not going to be there to fix, that the young people who are there now going to have to fix. So we are not knocking the government on the ideas. We are just saying, guys, okay, you're doing this, but here's what we're going to do to fix it down the line. So people get their houses. We know everybody who get their houses a good register. We're going to put a social program in place for all those people who own the houses to know to register the houses, to own them and use them as collateral to get loans for other things that they may want to get for in the future. So that is our fix. We are about solution, not about revolution. We never will criticize the houses, but we're going to be saying, look, 20, 30 years from now, when those people who are in government now would have to be passed on, or some people might be too old to serve, what do you want your legacy to be? We want to protect your legacy for you by putting things in place to manage what you introduce. Our idea is not to break down what you did, but to manage it. That's what government should be. I mean, the government of Dominica today is not the people who are in office, The government was established in 1978. It was established as an order to manage the affairs of our country. So the present people do not own the government. They are just passing. And we hope to be in government one day and we'll be passing. When we take our break, other people who will replace us must continue to protect what the government has done. So we're not going to break down what those people now do. No, that's not our idea about governance at all. We're going to maintain it. And our plan for housing is to maintain what our past government would have done, because there is no way this government that's in office now in Dominica going to remain as the government of Dominica forever. It's not possible. And even if we do not become government tomorrow or soon, somebody else will become. So we're just trying to put things in order, man, for continuity. And that's pretty much what it is. Did I say it right, Owen? Your mic is off. Your mic is muted. Your mic.
And yeah, correct. And like you say, the idea is to improve what the previous government or government before did, to make life better for, again, that word always comes back, the people. The people we have seen a new style in government, and government, people in government make themselves better. But the job we give them was to make the people's lives better.
Yes.
It seems like government has forgotten that. And they keep making themselves better by fools. And the people keep not getting better. Let's just leave it as that. So the job for any government is to improve
the people's life.
Standard, the betterment of the people's life, the people that put them. It's a job we gave them, Don't forget that.
It's a job.
They do own us. We give them a job. It's like me getting up and going to my daily job. And I have to do the work that the company has contracted me to do. And if I don't do it, the company is not going to say, we love Erwin so much, we're going to keep him. They're going to say, Erwin, thank you for your service and bye-bye. And this is how we have to treat politics and governments of a country.
It's a profession, it's a job, it's a business.
It is.
We are asking you to work for you. I mean, look at how we present ourselves. We don't come here shabby and pretending. No, we know what we can do. We're asking you to put us in office and let's take care of your affairs for you. And we don't have to break down anybody to get there. We to show you our plan. Look, this commentary saying, probably you could go back to the comments before, Mr. Producer. Somebody was saying, because I'm looking at the comments, but very useful comments. I think somebody was saying, very careful. And they were talking about, yes, very careful. Again, great initiative, but the projects and ghettos of US started with housing plans like this, without strict ordinances, and this is a potential for disaster. That is what we are saying, but we don't want to put it too crude. We don't want to alarm people too much. We are saying it's already there. We have a plan to manage it. Put us in office, and we'll manage it.
Yeah, and that next user is saying something that I've always shared that sentiment. Apartments might need to be focused towards young professionals starting off, who will hopefully transition once they have families. You see, because at the end of the day, a 2-bedroom house or 1-bedroom house given to you by government, you're gonna one day aspire to have a family.
Yes.
So you not having title or the rights to that property means that you cannot expand that property.
No.
And sometimes the places that it is being built doesn't allow you space to do anything. So when you take on a wife and you take on 2 children, you want to move to something a little more conducive for you and your family.
Amen.
You cannot stay in that property for the next 20 years while your family is growing, while you take on a wife and you have 2 or 3 children. And this is all we are saying. It's supposed to be a starting point, and that person is very right. For young professionals who just left college, bachelor lifestyle, you come and you know, and then tomorrow, and it can be, I always look at it as a form of an investment for you as a startup person, because later down when you want to build a family house, you can use it now as an asset to acquire something bigger for the family.
Yes.
But with that setup we have, you cannot do it.
But that is
You cannot do it.
The person who made that comment may have missed in our budget response when we said, maybe not in so many words, but I'm going to say exactly what we said, that the present stock of apartment type buildings will be used as transitory housing for first-time young homeowners who will use the facility managed by the Youth Division of Dominica and the National Youth Council. We said so. The National Youth Council will be managing the apartment type buildings. If the people who are living in there now need to be there, fine. But it will go under youth management and maintenance as transition houses for people who are actually now getting out and starting new units to get a kickstart. And then they move on to doing exactly what Erwin said. So that person may have missed it, but I'm telling you, we have that as part of our agenda. Not to take away homes from people who are in those homes now, but to say, okay, look at where we are. Okay, you need to be here, fine. But our focus is on young people. Guys, move out of the house. And this idea again of people being in this kind of a clustered, extended families, exposing children to harm. Because guys, 99% of abuse happens by somebody who the child knows. So if we move away from clustering our boys and girls into those extended family situation in this project properties and stuff, it would more protect our children, because I do not want any man, uncle, parent, then and brother close to my daughter, even if you are related to them. I'm not saying that I don't trust you, but the vibe is not very friendly when it comes to giving the child that space to grow. So transitory, managed by the youth, for the youth, and people who really need it. And then people move into the contained apartments. Yeah, that's pretty much what our idea is about. So the person is on cue with us. This other one said, great idea and wise idea from your budget response. Voila. And that is written there. It's, if you go back a few weeks, you will see me presenting that budget response and saying exactly that. That is our idea. That is our plan. People have told us, come with a plan, present your plan, and you will be fine. That's what we have been doing, Irwin. That is what we have been doing. And there's no need to go after anybody, but presenting what it is that we want to do. I mean, the program took a life of its own. The producer must be pulling his ear off. He must be pulling his ear off because we had an agenda to discuss. But here we.
Well, yeah, but sometimes we invited people to come onto the program. Now we're starting our round table where people can come and present themselves and have this and ask questions. So our programs right now will not based on the agenda because somebody might change the agenda based on the question, and that is very good. I like that kind of interaction with the public, you know, and it's good.
And that's what Crystal did, you know.
Yes, that's what she did, and she was on point.
And yeah, and then
Crystal had questions, and the nice thing is we answer it. When we haven't had that kind of interaction with persons in the last several years. I mean, we haven't had a debate. We need to, like we say, we came here to change the style of politics in Dominica, the discussion. We want people to be involved, people to have their say, people to have a voice. Stop suffering in silence. Something is affecting you, talk about it. And you should not be punished, penalized, or victimized for saying your stomach hurting you. That cannot be right. Your stomach hurting you, say your stomach hurting you. Let's break it down to normal terms. People don't faire mal ou supposé parler. Like I tell Pastor, you know. You should not be afraid. You should not be afraid.
If your stomach is hurting you, you should speak. That's
you
what
should speak.
Hey,
You should not because
Calm yourself, my brother. Calm yourself.
not because you get in not because Alec giving you a little thing on the side that you should not be able to tell Alec, but Alec, even though you give me something, my head is in me. You need to have your voice.
Yeah.
You know, we no longer can have our family suffering in silence and we're afraid to speak. That's just what it is. But we can speak professionally. We can respect everybody. We have no right to denigrate anybody, call anybody thieves, and say bad things about people. We can have a discussion in an amicable and nice manner. And
mutually respectful manner. Yeah. No,
respect everybody.
Mr. Producer, we have 7 more minutes because we have 53 minutes running. We have 7 more minutes, so don't go and tie us there. Let's give us our full give us our full
yeah.
And Carlos, another thing again that we need, although you plan, sometimes you plan, but the plan is the people. And if the people come and say, look, I want a different plan, you have to follow the plan. So today, we spend some time on housing, it was necessary. And we will, I promise you, sir, get back on our agenda strategically with our plans for leadership and stuff like that. We'll deal with that in another program, okay? Young man, it was necessary that this will be.
And I think, my suggestion, and I think again I'll say publicly, I think we may in the future have to extend our program to accommodate persons and their questions, and then maybe jump in our agenda, like divide it, split it up, because people need to be able to interact with us. People need to ask us questions, and we need to be comfortable in answering them.
Well, we look forward to doing that, and that is what we that's our mandate to actually respond to the people's needs and demands.
I assume when we start the roundtable discussions, those things will take a life of their own because persons have lots of questions and comments to ask.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
And in essence, to Irwin and Carlos, if you look at the discussion we had today, we had 4 items we wanted to touch, or kind of our readiness for leadership. The idea that we create a voice for visionary leadership within us, And that's pretty much what we dealt with, by answering the questions. We if anybody is conscientiously listening to what we're doing, you would see that we know what we are about. You do not need to be a magician to run a country. You just need to have love for your people and a good plan with a strategy for progress. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need to be a millionaire.
And respond to the people's request.
That is it.
And the people when they ask questions.
Simple. So there might be someone who saying, well, the other side in there doing it for so long, we're afraid to take them out. Take them out and put a fresh set, and you might see things just gallop. So let's not be apprehensive. We have the ability to do it.
Alex, there's a question. We have about a few minutes, so let's deal with that question asked by somebody.
That's an important question. That's an important question.
Very important.
So Cecil Alphonse. Carlos, I put my glasses. You want me to read it?
If an election is called next month, you don't have a leader. Why launch a party without a visionary leader?
You have a leader. But it's but
we have leaders.
Has not been listening, man. I am alarmed that Alphonse would say so. I have said so, declared permanently 2 or 3 major speeches that I gave, that I rise because of the leader. Dominica cannot wait for when somebody's ready. So count me in. I will be the John the Baptist if I have to. I will lead the vision. If I have to be, I will. But we're still hoping that other people might emerge. And our idea about leadership is not about one person. It's about a plan, a vision, where all are involved. Yes, there will be somebody steering the vision, which is what I am doing now. That's my job now, Alphonse. I claim it. And if you or anybody wants to step up and say, okay, guys, I think I can have a role, let's play a role in leadership. But for now, don't you think I'm the actual leader of the charge? I mean, does anybody question that, Carlos and Erwin?
No, and our second, we have another question. Another statement is that all of our current leaders started off from the people. You're right.
Which is what all we are.
Yes, exactly. But then the problem we have now is that the leaders that have started from the people have forgotten the people that put them there. And a leader should never forget that, because you are given a job by the people. So your job is, so this is what it is. Guys, our time is
Owen, just before we wrap up, let's look at the current leader of our country, the political leader of Dominica, the Prime Minister. Started from the people. Okay, let's go back in time. When did he become the leader of our country? 25 years or 22 years ago. What did he do? What did he do? How did he reach from the people? What did he do before in terms of leading any group, any social movement, any activity that really helped to empower people? Zero, nothing. So we must be very careful when we put in making statements like that. We're not castigating, but we look at it. He is the leader of our country. And before being in politics, he was a teacher for a little while. And there's nothing else that you can go by to say, well, he was instrumental like Ruzi was, or Piero was, or Patrick John was, or whatever.
Who is the leader?
Or yours truly, or Owen or Carlos. You have to go by track record. Now, the leader of the opposition, he's the leader of the opposition now. What movement did he lead before? Maybe we can find a few, because he was into journalism and other things as well. So you go based on facts. Don't just put things out there. We are coming from the people. If at all a group of people are ready to lead the people, it's us. Because we're not coming here asking for nothing. We are coming here with everything already. Before our Prime Minister was into this, what did he do in terms of as a profession, in terms of sustainability of himself and his family? I do not need anything from anybody now. Not as Owen. I mean, we have needs, but we don't go.
Back then, me following politics and following leadership in communities, back then, leadership stemmed from grassroots, from the village council level, from the community level. Yes. But in the last 20 years, that has changed, because we have persons right now that deciding that they want that person to go up for leadership. which are now is who they say and not who the community or the, those kind of things says. And this is where we have gone wrong, because the people in the community, serving at the community level that have the leadership value that everybody knows them from, are not the persons that are now. Let's take typical example. 2 months ago, we had a by-election in Grand Bay. A person from St. Joseph was instilled in Grand Bay. Grand Bay didn't have a voice to say who they wanted to lead and run their constituency. We have to be very careful of those things.
Yeah, that's a real.
And that's another topic, but it just came to mind. And as the person asked about leadership,
and
it just came to mind.
That's a good problem.
Leadership by people is very important. Leadership by the people, for the people. That person was very correct. It's very important.
And that is very, very crucial. But there is nothing magical about leading. Leading is doing what the people want you to do, and it must come from the people. So anybody can reach to become a leader of the people, but they must come from the people. They must come from the
people. People trust you and they put you up and they want you to lead them. That's what it should be about.
And I want members as we wind up to remember that our style of leadership in terms of our movement, our party, is not to place a figurehead up there and everybody worship the figurehead. If it's going to be me, I do not want that. Nor should anybody be so worshipped in politics anytime in the future again. A team guided by a leadership vision is what's going to drive our movement and our party if we are lucky enough to be in the government of Dominica moving forward, where all are involved. Not one person saying, oh, I alone can do this, I alone can fix this. What happened is Trump, the Trump situation you have in Dominica.
Okay, and as we close, my last take on that is one of the reasons I became a member of this Team Unity movement is because before everything was settled, there was a constitution written, a plan, something we said that we want to achieve for the country. Everybody's speaking about all sorts of things. We have the same plans that people want. 2-term leadership. We have things in our constitution, if you take the time to read it, that is for the country and for the people, right? Which I think we have lost in the last 20 years in all political parties or movements. So people follow Team Unity, let your voice be heard, be part of the movement. Let's see if we can return power to the people of the country. That is my last thing. Have a good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of our program.
Thank you, my dear brother. It was nice to share this platform with you again. I'm really excited. We're ready to go. We are not interested in taking power to ourselves. We want to, as Owen say, redirect the power back to the people. So we just want to be the conduits to your power. We go there, we redirect the power, we put you in control of their country. Not one person or a group of people that are beating their chest every day and calling themselves rich and calling other people poor. Not good. That's not how we're going to run our country. Carlos, Mr. Producer, you went beyond time. I'm not sure why, but that's how it is for today.
I guess it was with pure necessity.
Yeah.
Necessity. We have to engage the people. And of course, thank you for those who tuned in, far, local and wide. See persons came and went, they come and go. The feed will be there on our page, as well as our YouTube, as well as Alex page as well, so you can go back and look at it in the comfort of your time. We're here within reach. So any questions that you may want to ask, and we'll be happy to answer. Of course, see you at the next time when we're on with the Team Unity Roundtable discussion. In the background, you can hear the music of the great Calypsonian, Many Times King Dice. The song Leaders. Follow the leader.
He's part of our team now, Carlos?
No, he's not. Anybody can be part of. No. I'll leave that for you to approach.
We should approach him. Ask him to be officially part of the movement. A very good man, a progressive man.
Progressive youth.
Progressive youth, yeah. I think he'd be a good policy maker as well.
So, with that said, I'd like to thank you all for listening to us and look forward to hearing you the next time.
And you will explain to me how you're able to produce a program from St. Lucia. I do not know you did that.
We're not trained me much.
Like the meme would say. So guys, it was a nice round table talk. Crystal, thanks for being part of our discussion this afternoon. You changed the dynamics of our program, but it was welcome.
Welcome. Oh, shout out to Dr. Margaret Wallace, who was tuned in, and she was the Facebook user engaging us from Atlanta. So those questions came from her. And let's just use this opportunity to give a shout out to our good friend Morgan Paul.
And Dr. Simon Matthew as well, a very progressive young lady from Dominica, professional young lady from Dominica.
Emo News as well, not forgetting Emo News.
Yeah. And Brother Lofty, I've not seen Lofty in a little while personally, but I know he's doing his stuff. Lofty, enough respect, keep doing your stuff. Sky is the limit, my brother. When we can just come together, it's going to be great. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, we have a lot of movements happening out there. We have the Moontailways, we have the Enjams, and we're just asking people to keep the momentum going. Let's see if we can all come to an understanding and bring back power to the people. That is all it is. One voice, unity.
All right. Prochaine fois.
Thank you, guys.